Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So welcome to another Market Open stream. I know things are looking bleak right now with Bitcoin, especially with altcoins, with crypto and U.S. markets. But I'm here to say this is not time to be panicking about Bitcoin. So let me show you what I have to show you. Welcome, guys. The market is about to open. Market bell is about to ring in like 30 seconds. 30 seconds. But you can see right now, U.S. market is looking bad. Really bad right now, especially NASDAQ. NASDAQ down almost a full percent. And right now, Tesla is down 8%. I think they are definitely making a lot of people worried about our economy. Elon said some damning things about slowdown and purchases and rate hikes. He said a lot yesterday, but none of it was good. So NASDAQ is getting killed. Tesla is getting killed. And unfortunately, others are being dragged down with it. Bitcoin is also down slightly versus yesterday, but overall we are below that 30,000 mark. So what is going on, right? It's kind of getting scary again, a little bit, for some, a little bit. But we know in the U.S., people are still debating whether or not we will see better days or worse days. Is the recession going to get worse? Because we're starting to see more signs of that. The 3-month Treasury bill, the yield has gone up to 5.318%, which is the highest since 1999. That's 24 years ago. Okay, it was coming down slightly, but now it's just right back up again. And why would a Treasury bill yield go up? It's because people are fearful about markets once again, right? I mean, that's pretty damn high. You have a lot of economic data. You know, more and more is coming out today. The big one is jobless claims. And jobless claim went up 5,000 this week versus the previous week. So you have number of people claiming unemployment going up, right? So all these things added together, and whether or not Powell is going to have another rate hike next month, this month is flying by. We don't know. We don't know, right? Powell should be stopping. There should be no more rate hikes. All the economic stuff that's been coming out shows that we do not need another rate hike because it's going to make things worse. And plus, unemployment is starting to come up. That's not a good thing. You don't want a strong labor market to get really, really weak all of a sudden, right? That's not what you want. And I'm hearing a lot about white-collar jobs in the U.S., a lot of layoffs, a ton, not just from the tech sector. We know like Facebook has been laying off people left and right, Amazon, right? You see a lot of layoffs with tech, but just around, you know, people that are in software development or people that are in whatever, they're getting laid off. So it's not good all around, right? That's why the fear is up a little bit again, right? But is it time to be panicking about Bitcoin? Well, my response to that is no. No. And here's why. We tend to see Bitcoin go up and down. There's always volatility. There's always volatility. Even when we were at 30,000, someone asked, aren't you afraid we might go down to 28,000, right? I'm like, yeah, it can happen, right? Short term, anything can happen. But long term, Nothing has changed. I pulled up the fear and greed index because I wanted to see how people were thinking, what the sentiment is. You know, last month, last week, even yesterday, we were still in greed mode. All of a sudden, we dropped 10 points down to neutral. Even yesterday, we were greedy, and now we're not, right? It's funny how fast things turn. But if you're focusing on next few years, the next 5 years, next 10 years, you'll be feeling the greed also, because there's just really nothing that compares to Bitcoin. There's just nothing like it. But in the meantime, because of this little dip, We have 300 million of longs liquidated. That's no good. I keep warning you guys about using leverage, right? Maybe some of you guys are trading experts, and maybe you're using stop losses, okay? But still, for vast majority of people that are playing leverage, it's just like playing the lottery. It's like gambling. People just throw on a 100x long or a 50x long thinking that they will outsmart the market. And then this happens. You get all these longs liquidated. You have a long squeeze, and it contributes to the downfall of Bitcoin. It's no good, and exchanges just profit the fees, right? So 300 million within a matter of days gone. That sucks. That sucks. So just be careful of that. But like I said, long term, nothing really changes. Robert Kiyosaki also says that Bitcoin will keep going up because the government will keep printing fake money and keep robbing people of their wealth. That's why he believes not only Bitcoin, he's a big gold and silver guy too. He believes it is definitely time to be stocking up in Bitcoin, gold, and silver. You don't want none of that fake money that the Fed keeps printing. He has a point. He has a point. But going back to the charts, you know, Stock Money Lizards, I should bring up the other one because he kind of predicted this a few days ago where he said, well, Bitcoin is most likely going to come back down to this previous support level and then continue back up again, right? I actually showed that a couple days ago, and I'm sure he's not the only one that was looking at that. And yeah, okay, we came back down, right? But we're still holding at that resistance, or the resistance turned support, right? So that's pretty good. But also, you know what? History doesn't repeat, but it tends to rhyme. You know, I'm seeing a lot of this right now. On the left side is 2023, obviously, and the right side is actually 2020. Okay, I've seen a lot of fractal patterns that compare our movement now to 2019. But if you look at 2020, it's actually so similar. If you look at the way Bitcoin dropped down in 2020, it was the COVID crash, the pandemic crash, everything crashed, not just Bitcoin, right? But a quick V-shaped recovery. Then we kind of, you know, bounced up a little bit, retested that support, and then continued forward, right? That's what it's looking like right now, exactly. We had that little drop, right? Went sideways a little bit. Now we're retesting that support, and we're gearing up for the next run, the next pump, however you want to call it, right? You know, we see a lot of this. We see a lot of patterns, and there's just so many of these that support the narrative that, yes, we have entered the new era, the new cycle, the new bull cycle, and, you know, whatever happens day to day, when you zoom out, you don't even really notice it. Not really. These drops that you notice are, you know, tens of thousands. That's when you really notice it on a grand scale. But when you zoom out, it's really hard to notice any of the day-to-day stuff because you're looking at the monthly chart. Each one of these candles is a whole month, right? And so far we had three good candles. This may be the fourth one if we can end up in the green, but something that has never happened before, and that is if we cross the 21-month moving average, we have never made a new low after that. And we are above it, okay? That's very important. So we are on our way, heading upwards, and who knows? Who knows? A lot of people are predicting within the next 3 months, going into July, we could see as high as 40, 50,000. Some people think that we could be at an all-time high by the end of the year, right? But maybe none of these things happen. Maybe we just go sideways for a little bit. That would be okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Not as exciting. But if Bitcoin went sideways and we ended the year maybe at 40,000, 50,000 by the end of the year, that is still a win. That's a big win as we get closer to the next halving cycle, approximately around April next year. So we got a full year ahead of us until the halving cycle, right? Or at the event, halving event. But you could see previous times, you know, sometimes right where we are right now, like right pre, you know, like pre-halving event, we had some tremendous movement, right? And we're like right there, right there. It's looking good. It's looking good. What's also good is I noticed this, and I noticed CZ tweet this out. The EU Parliament approves crypto licensing fund transfer rules. Basically, this new MiCA or MiCA regulation is a broad standard for crypto. How things should be treated, how exchanges should be treated, how wallets, self-custody should be treated, right? Money transfers, how it should be treated. And this all relates to crypto. So at least there's a standard that all these countries under the EU will follow, right? So it's not going to be different from one country to another. And CZ really likes that, okay? And he's like, we're ready to make our adjustments in the next 12 to 18 months to be in full compliance, right? Unlike the US right now, just the US, we have 3 different agencies that are saying different things. The IRS treats Bitcoin and crypto differently than the SEC, and the SEC is still disagreeing over certain crypto, like Ethereum, with the CFTC, right? And you have other areas of the country, like the South District in New York, that's also getting involved, even though they should not, but they're also declaring things differently than the CFTC or the SEC, right? So you got all these factions with the US that can't even agree. We need something like this to move forward, even though people in crypto and Bitcoin love self-custody and thinks that it should be a free market and there should be no rules and regulations. Well, that's not reality for really any country. You could still self-custody your own crypto, of course, but in order for a country to fully embrace Bitcoin and crypto and fully embrace the companies that are within and the projects that exist within, right? There will need to be rules, and we need to set a standard so that there's no question mark, right? You don't just have individuals like Gary Gensler calling things out as a security, right? And no one knows why, and no one else agrees. You can't have that situation, right? You need some kind of framework to regulate everything, or at least treat it fairly, right? So Europe looks like they are ahead of the U.S., but the U.S. really needs to catch up. We are just, we all saw Gensler get grilled by Congress, right? But we need some action. We need to remove the guy, first of all, and then we need to come out with our own framework so that other countries like Europe or, the Eurozone or, like, say, Hong Kong doesn't just dominate, right? Yeah. And then lastly, I saw this. Dokon reportedly indicted for document forgery. Dokon and his other buddy, Han Chang-jun, are facing charges in Montenegro, and the other co-founder still walks free in South Korea. So looks like they're going after him for document forgery. I thought he stole a ton. I thought he stole hundreds of millions of dollars. So what happened there? But yeah, this is still in progress. Still in progress for those of you guys that care about Dokon and Luna. All right, that is pretty much it. Let's see. SpaceX is launching today, and the U.S. market still looks bad. Overall crypto market cap holding. Let's do some Q&A. Scrolling down, DB Zoom. What's happening, my man? Let's see. What's the deal with Gensler? I don't know. Hopefully after that congressional hearing, something gets done. Like he gets removed. Did you hear Gensler at the opening said his opinions are his own, so not reflective of the agency, and was challenged on that fact? Yeah, you can't make that statement when you're the head of the agency, right? You're the last buck, stops with him. You can't be a CEO of a company and say, yeah, other people made decisions and it's not my fault when things go wrong. You can't do that. Can government print money and buy all the BTC? They could try, but they will fail because as they try to buy more and more and more, the price will go up infinitely and they will fail at accumulating everything. I would like to see them try because then we will see our BTC skyrocket to the moon. Grintalk, I'm not even going to mention that. Mari 94G, I appreciate that. No problem. So Elon's rocket had unscheduled rapid assembly, which looked like an explosion to me. I don't know. I have not been keeping up. Oh, here we go. Suffers mid-flight failure minutes after historic launch. It's accumulation of years of regulatory work and technological tests. Well, unfortunately, didn't go very well. I can't imagine the complexities of building a rocket. I can't. I mean, the physics behind it, the parts, everything. If you could build rockets, you should be able to build the best cars on Earth. I mean, I'm just putting that out there. Pavel, I don't have anything to say about Cody and DJ TVL. It's still very low. Cardano's issue is it doesn't have enough TVL right now. There needs to be more liquidity pools. There needs to be more DEXs, just liquidity providers. They need more of it, right? And DJED is the first stable coin, but there needs to be more use case for it. Without all these other players, I mean, it's kind of sitting idle. What's the percentage of getting another rate hike? I don't know. Could be pretty high. So a lot of people predict that we will get another one. Let's see. 84%. 85% think that we'll get another rate hike. 14.6, 15% thinks we're not. I'm going to stick with the 15%, even though it seems unlikely, but I think we're seeing a lot of slowdown, and now we're seeing companies not reporting so well. The only companies that are reporting well are the banks. So you think about that. The banks are making money left and right. At least the big banks are. And they're taking advantage of the high interest rates, right? So the big banks are profiting. But all these other earnings have been lackluster. And the forward guidance, bad. Like none of them are giving good guidance going forward. They all think the market will be bad. So I don't see how Powell can ignore all these things. He always says he ignores the market, right? But you can't ignore the market. And the economic data keeps coming out worse and worse every single week. So I don't know. I'll just leave this up. Am I getting a Cybertruck? I have an order. I put down $100. Was it 100 or 1,000? I don't even remember. It's been so long. JVR, look it up. There are new crypto projects. They're the ones behind the next Crypto Gem show, which I was part of. But the best way to think about them is like an incubator for Web3. They have a lot more in play, a lot more they will be announcing. So look them up. The Fed needs to print $1,000 bills again. I don't know if that solves anything, really. But I think you could get larger bills. They have bills that are used to transfer money between banks. I think they have larger bills already. Like I remember seeing like a $10,000 bill or something like that. Do you think a Great Depression is coming? No, I don't think so. I think our recession could get worse, but a depression, not at this point. Unless the Fed keeps raising rates to like 10% or something, then yes. But like right now, no. Can you go over a chart for Doge, please? Frank, no. Doge is not something you chart. Okay? Doge goes up when Elon says good things or puts up a picture of Doge. Other than that, Doge goes down. That's really it. There's no charting Doge. There's nothing to look forward to. Everything hinders on Elon and whether or not he creates more usage for Doge. It's been like that for years now. So there's no need to chart it. Frank said, you guys, you need to try Domino's pizza balls. Okay. Out of left field. There's been a lot of meme coins pumping, right? Hard to ignore that. I mean, there's a lot of meme coins pumping. You see it trending on Twitter a lot too. I wonder if that has to do with anything. Whether or not a lot of people are selling off a lot of these other coins just to get in on them. But, you know, be careful if you do. They can turn around real quick. But if you want to gamble, it's up to you. Sometimes you catch it right. Yeah, NMCT, I didn't watch it, but I just covered it. So, you know, it looked like mid-flight something happened. I don't know if it blew up. Maybe it did. But SpaceX rockets have been pretty solid. I don't even remember the last one that actually blew up. It was years ago. So I don't know what happened to this one. Is it a good time to stack up Tesla? I would say so. But you know what? You know, they were at 100 not too long ago, like right here. Right? Like 10 something. They have picked up steam since then. But today they broke through their recent low back in March. So, I don't know. They may be weak for a while because their last earnings kind of scared a lot of people off. You know, their profit and earnings down 20% year over year. So people are afraid that they can't reclaim their previous numbers, right? And things are slowing down not only because of the economy, but from competition. So, I don't know. I'm still a big Tesla guy. There's no doubt about it, but I like to see more develop first. Like, want to see this kind of level out first. Stan, are you interested in space exploration on Mars? I'm a big sci-fi guy. I love space series and, you know, things that show us exploring space. Yes. I still think that probably the new Star Trek shows are really good, but before then, I still think like Stargate SG-1 was the best sci-fi like series. I think it was the most realistic, right? Between combination of showing humans at our current stage being advanced while meeting, you know, alien life and stuff like that. It was a good like mix. Where Star Trek, Star Wars, it shows us in the future already, right? So it's a really old show now, but I really love that show. I know you don't like render. Can I know why? Lazaro, I've said it 100 different times. I don't need to say it again. Sharing GPU over Ethereum network doesn't make any sense. Period. The end. I don't need to say any more about it. I have seen Falling Skies. I did not like it. I don't like any sci-fi shows where it just shows like, you know, humanity being overcome by aliens and, you know, somehow we prevail because in reality we will not. In reality, those aliens will just crush us and that's it, the end. No, I don't like those kind of shows. I like the shows where it shows us, you know, exploring space, finding new things. And while doing that, meeting other aliens, they become our allies, we advance, right? And then eventually we dominate space. I like to see stuff like that. Do you think Lucid could ever compete with Tesla? No. Lucid will be the first EV maker to die. Guaranteed. They don't sell any cars. And no one wants a big honking EV car that costs $100,000. Lucid is going to be the first to die. And then Rivian. And then that's it. There'll be no more EV automakers in the US other than Tesla and the big three. Now in China, BYD seems to be very strong, and in Europe, I guess VW being a big transition, but they're still way behind. Mercedes, way behind. So, but I see Lucid dying first. The Expanse was good. I like The Expanse. The last season wasn't so good, but I like the premise of it. They didn't really touch upon too much about the rings, right? The rings reminded me of Stargate SG-1, but they didn't really touch too much upon it. It was still more just like infighting, right? Political stuff, and it got a little boring because of that. District 9 was really good. I don't know why they never made a District 10. They even said in the movie, like, we'll be back in 3 years or something, right? It was a perfect setup for District 10 to come out 3 years later, and then they never did. I don't know why. It was Peter Jackson, right, that directed a film. I don't know. They could have done more with that. Chappie sucked. Chappie really sucked. I don't know about NIO being the winner. I think they're doing pretty good, but BYD is the one that's dominating China right now. And Tesla needs to come out with Model 2 to compete. If Tesla could come out with Model 2 and sell it for $25,000, they will again dominate the entire space. And that's what they're working on right now. They need something new. They need something new, something more inexpensive. You should speak at the Flux event in September. I didn't even know Flux had their own event. And where is it in September? And they're holding relatively well, around 200 million market cap, right? They're like a decentralized cloud provider. So good for them. I don't know where their convention will be. Toyota has a new hydrogen powered car. I mean, Toyota needs to stop it with hydrogen. Okay, no one's jumping on a hydrogen bandwagon. Toyota's been trying to promote that for years, and their CEO got kicked out because of it. They completely missed out on the EV trend. They could have been so dominant. They could have even bought Tesla years ago. And they just kept hammering on hydrogen cells, and has gotten them nowhere. They need to just drop that right away. No one wants to drive a hydrogen powered car. Even right now, no one wants to drive a EV car. Hydrogen is going to be 100 times harder to convince. Wally. Wally's my all-time favorite animated cartoon, anime movie. Like, if you haven't seen Wally, you should. It's the best. To this day, there's no animated cartoon that's better than Wally. It hits on so many fronts, and I honestly believe in like 100 years, 200 years, that's how everyone will be, because it's all about convenience, about getting what we want all the time, and then I'm sure we'll all be just like floating in these pods that will just carry us around and do stuff for us 24/7. I never got into Firefly. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. I didn't like that main character. Didn't like him at all. And Independence Day was good when it came out. You know, we don't see movies like that anymore. You know, back in the 90s, 2000s, you get all these like different types of movies. Very different, and they just hit, right? Like they became you know, they just became hot and became part of our culture, really. Like all these weird ones like Pulp Fiction or like Independence Day, Forrest Gump, right? They're all so different. Now it's like you don't have movies like that. Now it's just like it's all like series, like Fast and Furious is still going, Mission Impossible, John Wick, Marvel, of course, all the Marvel and DC stuff, right? But you don't see anything like new and special anymore. It's all remakes or prequels or comic book stuff. There's nothing original anymore. I don't know what happened. There was so many good movies in the 90s and 2000s, and now it's just like kind of just died off. War of the Worlds. That was an awesome movie. I can't believe that's like 20 years ago already. What's that Nicolas Cage movie? Lord of War. That's a smaller film, but that's an awesome movie. I really liked Armageddon when it came out with Bruce Willis. I thought that was a terrific movie. Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves. Awesome movie. There's so many. They're all around that time. Did you see the new Prius? Yeah, I'm trying to review that. I think this next week I'm gonna go check out the Prius in person. It does look really good. It looks like a sports coupe. Doesn't look like a eco box anymore. Speed was pretty good when it came out too. Yeah, I'll give you that. See, these are like so different, right? Original ideas. Matrix, of course. Let's not forget. Matrix was really good, right? These were all new ideas, awesome ideas. Some of them turn into franchises, obviously, but what do we have now that's kind of like that? I'm trying to think. What was the last like original movie that I really enjoyed in the last 10 years? Besides all the Marvel stuff. I mean, I like the Marvel stuff. I can't think of it. Yeah, I don't know. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. Enough movie chat. I thought that was pretty fun to reminisce. Overall, today, not looking good. Again, red again. Tesla, not looking good. SpaceX rocket blew up. That's not good. But you know what? What's good is not to give up on Bitcoin, okay? Bitcoin will go through its up and downs, but overall, long vision does not change, okay? Stick with Bitcoin, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.